Hey guys, it's the Spartan Shadows podcast crew. We are here to do a little bit of bonus content for you. A couple of basketball pieces got announced this week, and we wanted to just touch base really quick and give you guys some shorter content on. So, first order of business, it is grind week again here for MSU basketball, the week where former players and athletes from MSU basketball past come back for workouts, teach the team kind of some ins and outs, some basketball tips, work out with the current team. People like Draymond Green are in town. I know Max Christie's back. In the past, you've seen players like Jaren Jackson, Denzel Valentine, Cassius Winston. Basically, whoever's in the area and can make it is welcome back, and you see them work out together. So we have Grind Week starting. It's going on this week. And then also just released, I believe, yesterday or the day before, was the non-conference basketball schedule officially dropped. So we'll give you some rapid reaction on that too. The Spartans opened the basketball season with exhibitions on October 13th and October 29th. One, as we've kind of talked about before, the first one, October 13th, going to Northern Michigan to play in the Dome up at NMU. Tom Izzo's alma mater. They're going to go up and play an exhibition there, and then they're going to go play one at the Breslin against Ferris State. Then real basketball opens for the real regular season November 4th against Monmouth here at the Breslin. November 7th at the Breslin against Niagara. Then we have Champions Classic. We play Kansas November 12th. Then we're home against Bowling Green on November 16th, home against Sanford on November 19th. And then we have the Maui Invitational starting on November 25th, our first game against Colorado. We'll play the next day, November 26th, against either UConn or Memphis. And then we'll have a game, depending on wins and who makes it through that after that on November 27th. We are playing against Oakland again on December 17th. And then December 21st at home against Florida Atlantic, and December 30th against Western Michigan. Guys, basketball news. What do you guys think?
Just really excited for the exhibition against Northern Michigan. We talked about a little bit earlier. That's going to be really fun, a matchup going up to Marquette to play that. Grind Week is probably one of the best things that this program does, besides, of course, have a history of winning. Obviously, is always great. Maybe the last few years definitely have been down, but Grind Week is just awesome. Kind of except welcoming back alumni. You see kind of the family atmosphere that Izzo's been building for 20 plus years. You see, like you're saying, Chris, you see legends come back. You see players like Draymond Green, Kalen Lucas, Max Christie's back, which for some people might be a little controversial to a couple of people's opinions on what Max Christie thinks of Michigan State. We won't really go there, but he's back. You have Matt McQuaid obviously back. You saw just so many great players. Tyson Walker obviously is back, which I love seeing him back in East Lansing. So Grind Week is always really fun. It's one of the coolest things that this program does. And then the non-conference, it's your typical Michigan State non-conference. They have really good opponents. You see some games that you're like, hey, maybe this is kind of possibly a get-right game if some of these games don't go necessarily the right way. But you got Kansas, you got the possibility of playing teams like North Carolina. Colorado should be pretty decent this year, but it's just the typical Michigan State non-conference. And if they have a good non-conference schedule, it's just going to be a schedule that's going to really kind of help them come March, where they're going to play teams that are going to be in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, to build on that, first off, for Grind Week, like Zach said, it's one of our best traditions, besides obviously the tradition of winning, which I think those two build on each other. You have that culture, and it's great to see all these former players who've been successful. I know we've had some down years, but even like our players who just graduated, like you said, Tyson Walker. Walker had, I think, 6-7 games over 25 points in the green and white. So you have players who have been successful individually, you have players who have been successful as a team. it's just the whole culture at Michigan State is amazing to see, and Grind Week is one of my favorite things to see. Just all those former legends, all those players who, back when we were teenagers and growing up, seeing them back with your current team now. It's just a great tradition. And then also for non-conference, we have a couple games that we have 4 or 5 games we almost feel confident enough to take a Sharpie to, but as James Madison proved last year, we're not going to want to bring that Sharpie out. Get that, we might have a pen with some whiteout ready. Um, I think with the season opener in Monmouth, hopefully it goes. Hopefully we start the year 1-0 as opposed to 0-1. We'd have a couple trap games on the schedule this year. I think main one, obviously, I think Oakland. I believe that one's at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit this year. So hopefully we can all show out to that one. Little Caesars Arena was my first ever press pass for the Michigan State Baylor game last year. So that's going to be hopefully a full circle moment for me. Colorado, like you guys said, probably going to be good this year. Hopefully we get the chance to play someone like UNC. We get Kansas. We get, Hunter Dickinson. So that's going to be a fun one. I'm sure there will absolutely be no antics between Izzo and Dickinson this year.
0.
Yeah, I think the chances of that one are better than us going 12-0 in football, to be honest. Chances of 0 antics for Dickinson v. Izzo, that is. But, yeah, it's an usual Izzo non-conference, strong enough that it's going to help our resume if we struggle with the Big 10 this year. But it's gonna be a good schedule in my opinion, and it's gonna show us what team we have. We are going to be confident in the team we have by mid-December, I think.
Yeah.
We're not going to have that 12-0, but we've played, the highest opponent we've played is ranked 290 in strength of schedule.
Right. That kind of leads me into my next point. What do you guys think our non-conference is going to be? I'll start it as far as record goes. I'll start it. I'm optimistic. Maybe call me a little foolishly optimistic from those Spain games, but give me, what do we got, 13 games, if I can count correctly, which is not always the case, but I think we got 13 games. Let's go 10-3. 10-3. I don't know how well we're going to play against UConn, if we play UConn, I should say. And then I could see another, obviously that depends if UConn or North Carolina, some teams don't end up playing us in the Maui Invitational, that could be subject to change. But yeah, I think we could have an overall pretty successful non-conference schedule leading into conference play. What do you guys think?
I think 10-3 is a very realistic expectation. Obviously I could see 8-5, 9-4 if we drop a game like we didn't and get off on the wrong foot, kind of like we did last year. So I would say, though, anything worse than probably 9-4, I'm a little bit panicked. 8-5, I'm teetering, but then 7-6, 6-7, that is when the vibes are low. You are hitting that red flag.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of about the same. It's a little bit too early. We haven't seen this team, we've seen them play, but they still have a whole summer to practice. So I think if they're around 10-3, to get 9, 10, 11 wins out of this non-conference schedule, and then go if you get up to 20, 21 wins on the season, which is what Michigan State has been doing in the past, I think you're comfortably at least in the term at that point. So yeah, but it's just one of those things that I'm not ready to officially do a record prediction just because we just have to see.
Yeah, we got to see more content or more game action. I agree too, and nothing on the schedule necessarily scares me except for probably UConn, but and Kansas. Kansas will be a tough match, but I also think we have the pieces in place to beat Kansas potentially. So we'll see. Just depends how the first few games unfold. Bookmark this. We'll revisit it before the actual game on November 12th. But yeah, that's kind of what we wanted to hit with you. Happy Grind Week, everybody. Joey Hauser back. Joey Buckets, nice to see you. I did want to point out MSU basketball. I don't think we talked about this on the podcast. I know I had an article for it, and it's been talked about probably a lot, so I won't keep us very long. Matt Ishbia and Tom Gores approved the Pistons are going to play the Suns at the Breslin Center in an NBA preseason game on October 8th at 7 o'clock. So that'll be exciting. Pistons and Suns to play. Devin Booker will finally be able to play in his rightful home, or should have been, of the Breslin Center. But yeah, that's exciting. And then last basketball piece of news announcements, Izzone Camp Out in March, or Midnight Madness, not March Madness. Izzone Camp Out, Midnight Madness, October 4th. So bookmark that for students and anybody wanting to attend Midnight Madness. So, guys, basketball final thoughts, anything?
I think it's too early to call, like Zach said. Just going to be obviously checking their Twitter, seeing what progress as we see. And please, dear God, nobody be in a boot for the first game of the season. I could not take that.
Health, please.
Please.
Yeah, definitely stay healthy. Love basketball, but I'm also in football season, so let's go football.
Hockey season coming soon. You guys will get more out of me for that, I promise. But that's all we got. Extra little basketball content for everybody. Shorter than a normal podcast episode, but we hope you enjoy it. We'll be doing some other stuff, hopefully like this soon. So we appreciate everybody tuning in, and go green.
Go white.